Kathy Vick, Deeply Awake, Chats 2017, and I have the familiar backdrop behind me. Isn't that nice? So yesterday I did a very long video, and it's quite intense because it demonstrates how I figured out or been given access to a way to heal people in their foundations, and I found a way to touch people who before I would be afraid of or would react to very violently emotionally and not understand why, because it's what they're needing. They emit what they need, and then sometimes I didn't understand that, and so I would give the opposite, because I'd understand, like I'd hear that the person needs, obviously the most thing that person needs is gentleness, but it would come off as a scream and as angry demand, just psychically. And so my response would be to be uncaring and to ask why I wasn't being cared for, why I wasn't being treated with gentleness, because I wasn't being treated with gentleness. How can I expect to be treated with gentleness by someone whose primary issue is that they feel themselves deficient in gentleness? Huh? So it made for a big war, huh? That's just one example. And it doesn't matter who belongs to that feeling state, because it's just an example. But wow, it can really fuck things up if you're just feeling it, and that becomes like the war cry when you are hanging with them, and that's the only thing that I would wind up being aware of. Is like it's not even mine. So this has been a process of, I would say, of about 3 years of communicating with people, and not even knowing what level I'm communicating on. With some people, just it's soul to soul, and then there's this big rift. It's like, wait a minute here, we're not even connecting on a physical level here, and that kind of blew things up in one experience of mine. This split was just so magnificently large and required that it was just weird, and that's like with, I would say, like an inventory. Well, many people throughout my lifetime, there were times when it just was the thought of moving toward an individual who I'd been close with was just off limits, too hot or too cold or too dark or too whatever, but off limits. Okay. So maybe what I'm feeling from them is their need for space, you think? I don't know. And then I think of myself and how I would walk out of this house with a need, straight up, with a big old question mark over my head, and then I went about my business, and it was really uncomfortable and confusing. So it reminds me very much of what Matt Kahn explained about early on. He explained about what it's like to know your energy and to realize in a flash that what you're experiencing is not you, but it's the person you're in front of. And I thought, well, that's cool. That helps. Thank you, Matt. But then I didn't understand how to use it. And so that long tape explains it. And explains a lot of other stuff too, about identity. And I feel so much different, so much better. But I want to explain what happened today because it's important. I'm in the middle of like full-on ascension flu. So I think it's best to explain what ascension flu is. It ain't something you get at the beginning, okay? It's when you get it again and again. For me, I'm going to explain what ascension flu means to me, okay? I'm going to do it by means of explaining what happened this morning. So, honest to I was going to say honest to Christ. I can't say it anymore. Honest to God, yesterday, I wasn't just high-fiving the angels. No. I wasn't having chats with the angels. It was as if I was just like getting breathed by the one who thought angels would be a good idea around here. And it was beautiful and intense and welcome. And it's like, I really did feel like, how is it that this is only August 9th? There's no portents, there's no, ring around this day in my mind, and yet it was really, 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 really foundational. And I ran the numbers, and of course. You want me to do that for you? It helps me a lot. It helped me this morning figure out why I'm feeling this way. So 8, yesterday, I have to look at the watch, but it made sense yesterday. Okay, hold on. Okay, yesterday was 8/9/2017. All right, 2017 reduces to, I don't know why I'm skipped. 2017 reduces to a binary 1, and you can put the 1 in front of the 0 or the 0 in front of the 1. It depends on how you want to roll. All right, but the idea is that 2017 is not a 9 like last year. The flavor of this year is a binary 1. That means a reduced 1. It means a 0 and a 1. It means that the void is holding matter's hand. And it's all about new beginnings and the void. Okay? So that's a 1. 8, 9, 1. Well, that's 9, 9. That's 18. That's a 9. It's completion. That's completion all the way up and down at the base, and it reduces all the way up. Today, so what does 9 mean? That means completion. And among other things. It's also where I'll be taking up residence on the 9th. And today is 8/10/2017. And 8, those who have been following along know how my team feels about 8. It is the octave of the new time. See, it's the octave from which comes our reality. And that's reflected on the 7th. But 8's a big number. The number of totality, infinity. Constancy, balance, spiritual responsibility, alignment. So what is today? Today, the 8 is walking along 2 binary 1s. So the void is very much a part of today. As our new beginnings within self and within other. I think it says that it's as within, so without, at the octave of the 8. All about new beginnings. All I knew this morning was I woke up and I was not well. My head was full, and it feels to me when I'm in this place that it's crackly. It feels like steel wool. And it feels very congested, and it's right here. And I usually, when I've channeled a great deal, I'm running a lot of energy. I have a very dull pain in the back of my head and down into my neck, but this is different. This is always in the front. It's peppery, and it doesn't feel good, and it makes me want to just go away physically. I feel very uncomfortable. So that's how I was feeling, just uncomfortable and unable to find physical comfort. And so I knew, okay, well, I'm not going to be going to the government office. I'd asked, and they basically just came right out and said, you're to stand down today, you're not to be there. It's not a good day to do that. You can do it tomorrow, you can do it the next day, you can do it whenever, but you're not to go there today. Oh, okay, all right. And and the head was just pounding and not feeling well, and I know to just lay down when that's going on. And I was moved to read certain things and hear certain things, which I did, and that every time I would follow through and listen to what I was being told to listen to, I would have a big swell of something that I couldn't even language. And then I knew that, and then my body started to heat up, and then I started to upchuck. Oh boy, here we go. So trot, 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 vomit, vomit, vomit. And I laid down, and it's like everything came up, and they said, yes, you just, there was pop, and there was all kinds of stuff in there, and you need to be clean. So, and it's not uncommon for me when I'm having one of these to barf. It's just normal. So I'm purging, and I just did it once, and I went back to bed and thought, okay, well, there you go. I guess I need to lay down. And I did that. And then along about, I don't know, 12:30, I woke up. Oh no, I barfed again. Yeah, I went on and listened to more, and I barfed again. And it was nothing but stomach lining. And they said, okay, now we're done. And then I went back to bed and I slept. So here I am. I feel better. I'm still running a lot of heat. Just like, it's the heat that is like, I'm almost gonna sweat, but not quite. It's like that. Because when I get really, I get a lot of heat swells, and they're like flushes. I always think of a beautiful rose going, whoa, when I feel the heat. So it's been like that, like being on a cooker all day. Now, what I was understanding through all of this is that it's very hard to language. It's not appropriate to language. But I understood in the morning time that I was in the void. Felt like I was in the place in between when you breathe in and breathe out, or when you breathe out and breathe in. When you breathe out and breathe in, that's how it feels. It's a moment of creation, and I realized that's where I was. And it's not just some place I visited. I'm hanging out there. Oh, that's really neat. So I've had lots of goose flesh and interesting conversations and surprising interactions, and that's not going to stop. I'll just continue. But I know today that I've been shown I need to be placing myself in cotton. And I'll be doing that tomorrow too as I go about my business. So I'll be in white cotton. But I'm not to be disturbed energetically for 3 days. So that's how it's going to be. So I may seem a little bit weird to people. And out there, I'll go on. But I'm just in cotton. Like a little statue that just needs some time. So that's what's going on. And I bring it to you because it's important to, I think, describe what it's like in real time, because, I'm sitting on that bed after everything, and I was all woken up and feeling better, and I've got coffee in me that's not making me barf anymore, because my chi is better now, because they always say that's so bad for your chi. Oh, well, whatever, I like coffee, back off. I'll barf if I have to. I'll be drinking my coffee. Thank you very much. So that's kind of how I roll. Now I've had, I don't know, a couple cups of chi, of unbalanced chi. I'm doing fine. But I know I'm not in a place where I can spin. I see that it's like a top, and it's still suspended, but it's not spinning, and it's just kind of sitting there. So that's nice. Okay, well, it knows its job is to spin, and its joy is to spin, but it's not spinning right now. Okay, all right. Okay. But it's not to be picked up and played with like a toy. That's not the point. It's not that. It would appear to be a top, simple child's toy, but it's anything but. And so it'll just go untouched and unnoticed, until it's time to get its string pulled. That's how I feel. And it's certainly not time to spin, and it's not certainly not time to get pulled. It's time to be in cotton. So where does that place me? It's Friday, right? Is it Friday or Thursday today? It's Thursday. So that means 3 days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so I can come out on Sunday. That's nice. Okay. I don't even know what day that is. It doesn't matter. So I want to talk a little... Ooh, my heart. Ooh. I want to talk a little bit about the eclipse before I go, because I've had some more information, a lot of it. And I videotaped some of it, and I found it very odd that my son just wandered into the room, and he just stayed while I went and did my thing, and he just listened. And I was channeling during it. Afterwards, I asked him, what I said about the eclipse, do you think that it needs to be said loudly or not? And he's always very good about being honest, and he said, no, it's fine, it's a good thing. But you need to include people. What? He said, well, you just go on and on about your reality, and you should probably ask people what's going on in theirs. Wow. He said, you should be you should be telling people, they should be putting their own information in the comments. They should be talking about this stuff. There should be a dialogue. So I reviewed some of my tapes after getting that feedback to see, and I know that my energy has been back off and figuring this out. Let me talk like that. And there has been a very kind of exclusive or exclusionary quality to this. And that's been necessary, because I have spent my entire life believing I'm just a simple human being without a right to any of the things I know, feel, or can do. So, a part of me has had to just put up a very defensive wall, I think. Regardless of what you think about my process, this is my process. Boom, like that. And I think, okay, some of you know and some of you don't. The kind of resistance I've had to push through. And the sort of life and death struggle it's felt like at times. So it makes sense for me to have an attitude of, hey, you can step off. You don't know. I haven't told you, and you're making assumptions. Now, quiet down and let me explain. And I've spent, a lifetime quietly sitting and letting other people tell me how smart they are, how much they understand, and how much better they are at this than me. So, you know what? Good. To get this kind of attitude was required to propel myself out of the concrete that I agreed to seal myself in. But now it's like, yeah, the truth is, okay, so Sam gives me that little gift yesterday, and then I go into the kitchen and making dinner, thinking, oh my God, this is a brand new reality for Deeply Awake, because we can have a really interactive thing, and we can have like because I've been thinking about this one thing that I have a friend who's going to help me launch it. And it's highly interactive, and it's highly naughty, and I cannot wait. But this could be very much like it, of just a platform where there's, a chat board, and there's, I can see it being very interactive. So this morning, once I cleared, and once I woke up, I realized I was looking at my Twitter feed, and that's blowing up. And a lot of the people who are following me are like media people, and producers, and concert people and stuff. And at the beginning, I always saw me on a really big stage in parks, and there was beautiful, beautiful techno music, and I was like the MC. And it was a spiritual time of celebration and acknowledgement of revolution and of love and of power of self and all this stuff. It was really totally cool. And then I see this happen, and I think, well, that's where I'm going to wind up. I don't know how, but I've got an eclipse coming up. And I also have an expiration date now. I see the probabilities, and I understand that I have a limited amount of time left in this lifetime, and I am perfectly fine with that. I was going to, I was considering do the longevity thing. I was considering just becoming an elder and staying there, and just being perpetually 45 and just walking through life. But I pretty much did that already. That's what this lifetime was. And I'm kind of tired of that. So I have 10 more years, basically. And I'm really excited about that, because it allows me to see that there is I don't know, like I have the date of the final chapter, the last period. Well, isn't that nice? Am I gonna, and we've talked about it, my team and I. And I think I'd prefer that. And so it's kind of nice. I feel complete in a way, and I feel happy. And I've wondered about the the timing of what would come next. So I looked at the ages of people when that would happen, and then I can't really feel into the future, so I know that that's okay. It's like if that's the most appropriate time for the next lifetime, that's good. But I need to be born into a house that's got deeply awake books on the shelf, and who will allow me to be myself. Not only allow me, but to celebrate it. To celebrate it. I haven't had that this lifetime. I've had everything but that. And I'll feel it to some extent the last like 8 or so years, and that's nice. But then I'll be complete, and it'll be time for the next one. I want to be a quantum biologist. So when it's time for that, you better believe I'm gonna go in a heartbeat with a smile on my face, because I have more work to do. I have more people to touch. So it's good. It's all good. And I'm so relieved. I've tried to impress this on people I've loved. There's just not a lot of time here. Work through your stuff. Be with me. Don't delay this. There's just not that much time. And that's why I'm really pleased about the eclipse. And I'm pleased about knowing the arc. It makes me feel happy. These are tears of relief. They're just tears of relief. Not because I hate it here. I love it here now. But it's just been too hard. I can make things good. I already have. But then I want a clean start. I want to start again. So I'm looking forward to it. So I don't worry about whether there's certain people going to be in my life or not, because I understand about the plasticity of the soul, and I understand the multiplicity of reality, and so it's all set. Everything's in agreement, in accord, so that's good. So I come to you from this void, and maybe it's spooky to you, I don't know, but these are the kind of gifts that I have found in this void place in between the breath, you know. So time means nothing to me. It feels to me like it's about 10 o'clock in the morning, and I know it's got to be closer to 3 in the afternoon, and I'm aware I'm supposed to do some things to assist in the comfort and pleasure of others. I'll do what I can do, but things are what they are today, and just walking through this day mindfully is really about all that is required of anyone. Whether there's something that's going to happen nationally on a very large scale, I sense today's a day there's going to be something big, and it's going to be there's a tear. There's something. There's a reason I'm like this, and I'm not really very here. I feel as if most of me is just I don't really cover the earth. Of course, it's not that way. No, it's a saturation that goes into the center and goes out, and I'm just there helping out. And around, just ringing things and around. I don't have to be here very much right now. Everything is running pretty smooth. And so that's nice. And this is real. This is how I live my life. This is how I explain things to myself. And so if this is how you explain things to yourself, well, you have a friend. And if how I explain things to myself and the information I receive from the ethers freaks you out, well then, okay. And if it makes you light up, makes you feel like you've come home, well, that's really good, because you have. It ain't got nothing to do with me. That's about you having pushed play. So, on days like this and moments like this, I'm completely aimless. It's nothing really, it's not that nothing matters. Everything matters, that's the point. Everything matters. More so than when, more than ever. So, that's why it's like, yeah, well, it's hard to choose anything. So, greetings from the void. If you're there, well, it's nice partying with you. And if you're not there, it's nice to have you along, looking in. So I don't know what I'm gonna call this. What's that boogie-woogie flu? I got the rockin' pneumonia and the boogie-woogie flu. Alright. Alright. That's the song for this. And I think maybe what I need to do is a picture of a midway for the graphic. I feel like being at a local circus is an appropriate place today. I like those places a lot. So that's what is happening. So I want to give that to you and say thank you for being you. Namaste.